Welcome back, viewers. This is Rep Yo SWAGG. I'm Poocha here. This is D. We're in Fort Worth at the Upgrade Garage. We'll be back later to tell you more about what he do.
Big wheel riding in it, and it paint shining, got the good smoke inside it. Hell yeah, we shining.
Okay, so starting out, we're gonna find out a little bit more about the person itself, the man of the time right now. So, D, where you from?
Stop 6 Fort Worth, man.
Originally,
Born and raised. You know, you can't get no more east than that, man.
That's far as you can go?
As far as you can go.
Yeah.
You know
So, as far as growing up in Stop 6 area, it was a well-known area. How did that impact you in life?
And to be honest, where I'm at right now, I never seen that. But laying in bed at night, man, I just always wanted to have my name up in lights.
Right.
The right way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like growing up in Stop 6, man, you know, it wasn't very favorable. But at the same time, it gave me some grassroots and allowed me to be the man that I am.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty much thinking, because you've seen how things can go one way and not want to be in that kind of light, you know, and just be in a different light. Right. So, what made you get started on, you know, doing what you do now?
Man, honestly, man, sitting in the room, because I was always on punishment. You know, growing up in the hood, man, you're always on punishment. And I always looked at it as a bad thing, but it kept me out of trouble. So the only way to stay busy was to tinker. Right. Man, my mom's bought me a radio, and I tore it apart. You know what I'm saying? I had to figure it out. Yeah. But, you know, at that time, man, growing up in the early 80s and stuff like that, man, we had... all the music had bass in it. Right. And man, I was just drawn to that. So I started turning stuff up, building this and doing all this in a 10 by 12 room. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a prison. But I kept myself occupied doing it. Yeah. And then, you know, as I got older, my cousin taught me the difference between positive and negative, because I didn't know. Okay. Especially in a 12 volt car or whatever. And I didn't turn back.
Okay. So as far as, like, since you was doing it as a kid and, you know, other things that evolved with it, like you kind of perfected your skill on, you know, just, you know, how if you can go from your first thing that you put together to now, what would you say made you feel like you got better?
I stopped using masking tape.
Okay. Get some stuff that
yeah, man. Learn how to use a solder. Learn how to, you know, electric tape. You know, it's just through time. You know, you work with what you had, and I didn't know any better. You know, we had stuff that you could make. You tape Christmas presents up with. Right. I was using that to tape up wires, because I knew that the wires touched, it was going to be a problem. Right. So, you know, just throughout the years, just learning, you know, from different people. Having people come in and out that enjoyed the same thing that I enjoyed, and it just made it easy.
It just came through. Yeah, because I was like, it'd be kind of hard to have a bass box with masking tape on it and stuff.
But the crazy part is, man, I couldn't afford a actual box, so I would get cardboard boxes and put speakers in. You know? Right.
Same thing. Easy to cut and everything.
Easy to cut, man. Butter knife, butcher knife. So yeah, I got, man, why are my damn dishes all up, man? Yeah,
I'm working.
Yeah, I'm working. This is what happens when you keep me in the house. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I enjoy. That was the one thing about my childhood that I really appreciated, the fact that it gave me this now. But you know, we don't see that. You know,
right. That's like I heard, like they was talking about this lady. She was watching TV and was reading the prompts on there, and then when she was reading the prompts, now she's on TV reading the prompts, doing the same thing. Right. So what you do as a kid will help you develop as an adult. Right. All right, y'all. So we're gonna stop right here, and we'll be back for the second half. So we're back now. So the viewers that basically that wants to bring their whatever they want to bring to get upgraded, where would you be located at?
2201 Handley Ederville Rd. That's Fort Worth, Texas 76118. You can also reach us phone number 817-616-3018. And of course, my cell phone number is private.
But if you have it, use it. So, now as far as when you do upgrades, what do your upgrades consist of?
Anything you can do to a Harley Davidson, whether it be frame cuts, big wheels, paint, powder coat, oil changes, wheels, tires, music. If it can be done to a motorcycle, we can do it here.
So when you said Harley Davidson, is it specifically Harley Davidson?
Specifically Harley Davidson. I don't
that
really.
Way you won't have people bringing you scooters,
Hondas and Gold Wings. Now, when it comes to when it comes to bikes outside of Harley Davidsons, there are things that can be upgraded. But a lot of my focus is on the Harley Davidson.
Right.
That's the most customizable motorcycle.
It is.
And I mean, it's just when you take it from one thing, you can make it look something totally different. Yes.
Right. So, in the projects that you did, what do you think? Like when you got through, what was the pat on the back?
Well, I always try to think outside the box. I mean, as you can see, Harley Davidson sells thousands upon thousands of motorcycles. The goal here is to make it not get lost in the parking lot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
To make it look like everybody else.
Yeah, you don't want it to look like, I mean, of course, and people would say, oh man, I don't want a Harley, everybody has one. Well, there's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is just to try to make it not look like this guy's bike.
Right.
So
right. You're
not walking up to get on your bike and then somebody else's. You know what I mean?
So the upgrade, your key don't work. Oh, that's in my bike. Yeah. So on the upgrades, do you do paint?
Yes.
What kind of paint do you do?
Man, we do everything from factory matches to custom colors. As you can see with one of my bikes that I built, it's been seen all over the world. Mm-hmm. They've even created pages where they don't like it, but you can't not like it. Right. It's just one of those that stand out. Yes. So and that's what you want to do. You want to have that one or two projects that when people see it, they know that's you. Okay. So you do paint, you do sounds, you do tires, you do big wheels. Motor fabrications? The motor, I'm not really into the motor side of it. That gets a little bit more tedious. I usually outsource those. If they do, let's say if I have a bike in here, somebody wants some motor work, mm-hmm. I can bring a guy in and take care of it. Okay. So you can still get it done. You can still get it done. Yeah. Okay. What's the biggest wheels that you put on? For right now, 30. 30? Yeah. Now they go all the way up to 34, and there's a lot of guys that ride the 32s and 34s, but for me, it's just not feasible. You know what I mean? The 30 is already heavy, mm-hmm. and you're going to add another, 2 to 4 inches, but the weight that goes along with that. These bikes are already at 1,000 pounds, and I think mine is right now maybe about 1,400 to 1,500. Okay. It's a heavy bike. Yes, trying to maneuver and stuff. Especially at a standstill. Yeah. So, let me see. As far as motor work, paint, do you do more of if somebody wants to customize helmet or to match the bike? And stuff? I do have a bike in right now that the customer does have, a paint to match helmet. Okay. So I mean that's across the board. I mean anything you can do, anything you want done. If we can paint your bike, we can paint your helmet. Okay. Upholstery, if you want a custom seat done. Yes. We can do that also. Okay. That's great. What are the projects you feel like was a hard job? The harder jobs are just more or less once you first get into it, mm-hmm. The renovation. Yeah, 13 years ago, I bought my first Harley. I didn't know anything about them. Mm-hmm. but you tear them down and you put them back together. You tear them down and you put them back together. Sometimes trying to force a bunch of different items in a small location creates some difficulties, but you know, if you done did it a couple of times, it creates a level of ease.
Right.
You know, so it's not that difficult.
Okay.
At this level.
Right. So, you ever put TV screens on the Harley?
Well, not on a Harley, but I've done that on sport bikes and in cars when I was doing cars. Putting a TV screen an additional aside from like the double din,
Yes.
you know, it's
just
an overkill. You know what I mean? I try to concentrate on bikes that people ride.
Right.
You know, if somebody wants a show bike, that takes a lot longer to do, and it's just one of those things that everything has to be planned out.
Okay.
You know, so you may drop it off in 23, may not pick it up to 24.
Right.
You know, that's
the highest dent that is.
Yeah.
Do you think you could show us a few of those bikes so that way we can show the viewers?
Thought you never asked.
Right. As far as the other thing I heard, as far as the sound system, tweeters, boxes, like what all do you install?
Man, the music on these motorcycles has transitioned from maybe having 2 speakers up front or 4 speakers up front, maybe throwing, you know, something small in the bags. Now we're doing, you know, 18-inch stretch bags, you know, 10-inch subwoofers, 12s. Some of this music now, like even my personal bike, has a couple of 10s in it, but if you close your eyes, you wouldn't know if it was a bike or a car.
Right.
That's how
it sounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as far as what's the highest wattage that you ever?
Well, I mean, and again, that all depends. You got some guys that'll run them as low as 400. I mean, right now I think my bike has about 10,000 watts on it, but they go up from there. I mean, there are guys that have upwards of 20,000 watts on these motorcycles, and of course you have to have the power to run them. So, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing that you can't put on something. There's nothing to put on the motorcycle that you don't want on the motorcycle.
Okay.
You know,
like
you just have to pay for it.
So, if you had 612s and stuff, you get.
There are bikes out there with 612s on them. You know, you're getting into a different price range.
Right.
You know, man, you can be in the upwards of hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
Building
just to
like
build.
that.
Yeah, because it's got to be able to hold.
Yeah,
know,
but you're not riding a bike with 612s around the city.
Right. That's another show.
Yeah. You pulling that thing off a trailer in the parking lot.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, y'all. We're gonna take a break for a minute, and we'll be back.
It won't work. I know the devil want me back. Think that we got enough.
You make my heart go boom. Oh baby, it's the look in your eyes that makes you the prize. I wish we were together right now. It's true. You make my body feel new. Oh baby, it's the way that you let it.
So we're back. The last part of this segment, we're gonna talk about as far as future events. As far as we know, like you do a lot of stuff in the area because you was raised in the area. But what are future events that you have coming up?
Well, anybody that's in the DFW know that we do Two Wheel Tuesday. That starts back up April the 4th. Usually the first Tuesday of the month, I host them here. I feed the community. You know, I don't ask you to pay for anything. It's on me. I got a burger joint, you know what I'm saying, that I'm actually going to try to pop off within the next year. It's the Upgrade Garage Burgers and Fries. I've already, you know, got the DBA for that. I make a mean hamburger.
Okay.
So the first Tuesday of every month, I invite everybody out. I make those hamburgers. Everybody eat, have fun. You know, it's just a way to let your hair down.
Right.
You know, get away from things for a little while. And we do that every Tuesday from April all the way up to October. As the time, you know, goes back, it gets dark early, then we kind of cut it out.
Right.
You know, when you got that many bikes on the road at night, it's a little dangerous. As far as future endeavors with the shop, just to try to grow the shop a little bit more, I do offer state inspections now, along with the audio.
Just motorcycles?
No, anything.
Okay.
You know, if your girlfriend required a state inspection, I would do that.
Okay.
But cars, motorcycles, boats, trucks, it don't really.
Whatever.
If it needs an inspection, I can inspect it.
Okay.
So even with that, man, you know, just wanting to grow the business, I want to do a little bit more education, especially on the audio side with these bikes. You know, grab a class, teach people what to do and what not to do when it comes to these motorcycles, especially on their charging systems and stuff like that. So.
Yes, so that way they won't blow out nothing on them because it'd be too much power.
Or not enough.
Yeah, and be barely hearing it. So, the thing of it is, as far as like where you at now and how you grew up and stuff, what would you tell somebody that wanted to get in a business like this? What would you tell them the pros and cons of it?
Don't be afraid. First off, you gotta trust God.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a calling for it. Now don't get me wrong. If you just did this one time, make sure you have some knowledge behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect to make a bunch of money.
Right.
Don't do it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
When you do it for the money, you lose the passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
The money's gonna come. Just keep enjoying what you're doing.
Right.
We get caught up around the money and we miss the opportunity to grow because the money stopped coming. So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
Don't get wrapped up in the money. Keep doing what you love. Don't be in a rush to grow. Just be in a rush to move.
Right.
You have to keep moving.
Message. So, well, other than that, we're finna get ready to cut out. This is D at the Upgrade Garage, repping his swag. I'm Poochie Hair, and we'll see y'all next episode.
Big rim riding in it, and it paint shining. Got the good smoke inside it. Hell yeah, we shining. TV's inside it with a bad chick inside of me. Look like we won a lottery, cause we be grinding. I shines all the time, cause I'm out on the grind. I'm getting mine, sipping fine wine. Every time I dime, blowing pine in the Cuban. Throwback Patrick Ewing. Got plenty of bitches on my team because my game is fluent. Or maybe it's the candy that do it. They like to glow. You know how I go, for every spoke I got, it's a hoe. I want my dodo. Fat sacks of dodo. Be rolling with my kinfolk and big body ain't though. Sitting on them low pros, hoes just shining. Big plus C, so I'm always reclining. Money by the thousands, I ain't got that meal ticket yet. Think I might don't have it down, but I'm fixed to get a check. So till then I'ma continue doing what I do. Don't hate on me because JD ain't nothing like you. I'm Gator shoes, you Nike. I'm cool, you shiesty. It don't matter.